from Dystopia, episode 39. Apparently yesterday I was bang on the money with those morels. Every one of them I saw yesterday, they're all gone. Somebody picked them all. So, it's like I was saying, I don't trust myself with mushrooms though. I know, it's kind of hard to screw up with morels. I've been told that numerous times that they're actually the easiest one to find. So, easiest one to determine whether they're real or not. Yeah. They were along the trail. Oh, there's one. There's another one. There's another one. They didn't get all of them. Hold on, let me take some pictures here. So I will put those in the opening slideshow for today. That's pretty cool though that they didn't get all of them. What I was reading yesterday or last night, and then I shared some this morning on Facebook about it too. These are kind of growing out of the normal place, they're not exactly up in the protected cover of a tree. They're actually adjacent to the path, which I'm wondering now if those were spread accidentally by somebody that, accidentally, intentionally, by somebody that put them in a basket. I shared that on Facebook this morning years ago when picking with a neighbor in Germany. He was very specific about saying, make sure that you carry them in an open basket where little field mouse just took off running, man, scared the hell out of him. Anyways, in a basket where they can air while you're carrying them as well as spread spores. So it's a two-factor thing. You're drying the mushrooms on the way, to get the heaviest moisture off of them, and you're spreading spores. The article I found this morning talking about morels said the exact same thing. And I told somebody that last year, and they just looked at me like I was stupid. Just looking in this little piece of wood, we should now start seeing trillium. I saw a plant the other day, but I'm waiting on the flowers. Now it's funny, now that I see another one over here. Now that I know the exact shape and color that I'm looking for on the morels, now I'm actually seeing a few over here. There's one. That's pretty cool. Posted up the finished Raspberry Pi video for phase 1 yesterday. I have it in the car, so I'll shoot a little piece of video and just boot it up in the vehicle and connect to the phone as the hotspot. Just, test all of that. And then I will start working on the shutdown script and the button to make it shut down properly just by touching the button. Like I was saying in one of the initial videos, I want to get a dwell working. Alright, we have a train coming, so I'm going to stop the video until the train gets by so I don't have to yell over the train. See you in a bit, guys. Okay, and the train is gone by. I just found a black morel. I'll post the picture of that right here as well. I took a second, split it in half, like the blog post was talking about. And it is hollow all the way up to the point to include the head. So that, to me, based on that article, says it's an edible morel. coming down, so we're back here at that creek again. I'm gonna look around here and kind of keep an eye on the canal because while I was cutting that morel, I heard squeaks, and I believe the squeaks were an otter, so I'm gonna try and keep an eye out and look for some otters. I saw a couple last year over on the DuPage River, and given the area I'm at is very close to the DuPage, it's very possible they could hop over. So I wouldn't have seen that. Now my eyes are just steady looking for morel mushrooms. So that's about a dozen I've passed on the way here, or on the way down the trail. So that is pretty damn cool. So I'll work on my knowledge of them a little bit more over the next day or so, and then if I feel confident enough, I'll go harvest a few and cook them up. I do love morels, but like I was saying, I'm always so paranoid about picking them up. Alright, I'm back. I took a photo, I'll post it right here, of a leafy plant, which I think is an edible. I think it's in my edibles book. A whole bunch of little white flowers down here. Another picture. Alright, so we're back. It's funny is the property I had down in Missouri had a lot of edible plants on it. And when I started cleaning off an area, I was very careful not to damage the edibles. There was a grape, I can't remember what, it's a grape-like fruit, musca something or other. One of the neighbors helped me identify them and said, yeah, those are edible. I had blackberries, I had raspberries on there. Quite a few different leafy plants that were all edible. I forgot what they were called. The neighbor said, well, the one, they just call it Indian lettuce, which is what I'm suspecting that one back there was. It's the same leaf pattern, same shape, same color. But these are a little smaller than what I'm used to seeing. It may just be because it's earlier in the spring. And of course, dandelions. You know, a lot of people hate dandelions, but I know I said that previously. My dad was a huge dandelion eater in the spring. Again, they're just a little bitter for me. Think about family coming up behind me here. Slowly but surely. It is May 1st in the state of Illinois. Now you have to wear a mask when 6 foot of distance is unavoidable. Everybody is now required to wear a mask by state law. So I'm gonna modify this, or maybe have someone that sews make me a buff that contains the second layer inside of it, and a nose clip would be nice. You know, just a bendable piece of aluminum. I've gotten used to the buff now. I don't really want anything clipped on my ears or wrapped around my head. The buff just makes it quick and dirty when I'm too close or somebody's too close. A couple more morels. That is so funny because now I know where I'm looking. And the areas that I need to look in. I'm almost positive that leaf, that plant, is that Indian lettuce. I just can't remember the proper name of it. And if it is, I might have a fried morel, or sauteed morel, and lettuce salad. That was one thing my daughter, when she was little, for a few Easters in a row, she and I would go out to the woods and pick different edibles and make a salad out of them. And apparently she still does that. I don't know if she picks mushrooms. I should ask her about that. But yeah, it was a dandelion, a couple other flowers. One of the flowers was a nasturtium, which I know a lot of people know about. A lot of people love them as a flower, but they don't realize that the flower is edible. I actually quite like a nasturtium on a salad. It's got a little bit of a pepper zing to it. I don't know that all nasturtiums are edible, but most are. Kind of like potatoes, you know, they're a nightshade, but yet nightshades are poisonous. But most potatoes aren't now. We've cultivated them to that point. Alright, let me do some walking here and I'll see you guys up at the shelter. Although there's industrial equipment back there. There's a nice frog chorus coming out of this little marshy area. The sounds
It's kind of hard to compete with the sound of those frogs. It's just a, I don't know, peaceful sound, I guess. Kind of reminds me of where I lived in Alabama. At night, you'd start to hear the frogs kick up, and that was kind of the sound that nightfall was coming, you know, and then you'd hear the whippoorwills start singing away, except those things, after a while, whippoorwills get annoying. Poor Will's widow. Lots of people running by, cycling by. It's just funny the difference between yesterday and today. Today it's beautiful out. Tomorrow they're talking 78. I just noticed the light change when I turned, but yeah, they're talking 78 degrees tomorrow. Sunny like this, or at least partly sunny. So should be a nice day tomorrow as well, but it's a weekend. So there's going to be a lot of people out, although as of today they opened up quite a few state parks in this area. I think it was 7 in the northeastern region that got opened up, so hopefully we'll have a few less people piled onto these local trails because they're going to go to the parks. Maybe I can get back across the way here and do some of the northbound stretch of this part of the trail. That's pretty good. Got all the birds just chirping away. It's a pretty nice spot. I could easily see making a sandwich and coming out here for a little bit. Level out the camera. It would help if I had the camera level, wouldn't it? I'm going to put a bubble level on this thing, I think, because it has to be a drastic swing for my camera to actually show the angle. So, but yeah, I could see coming out here or just bringing my pack out and make a cup of coffee and maybe have a nice sandwich with it. Nice sandwich. God, I'm getting old. I want a sandwich. A sandwich sounds good. Hey, simple pleasures in life. My dad was a huge, I can't say a huge fan. I don't know if it was just a money thing, because we did okay when we were little, but Dad didn't make a lot of money. But I always remember going to the zoo, and the sandwiches were always either homemade bread or some kind of whole wheat bread. I forgot the brand now. But so the sandwiches with mustard and the Thousand Island sandwich spread, it looks like it essentially is Thousand Island.
and then thin sliced Velveeta cheese on that whole wheat. Oh God, that was still every now and then I will buy Velveeta just to make a sandwich like that. It's just something about that. It brings back so many memories of being young. And always lemonade. Mom would make lemonade with real lemon juice and sugar and water in an empty. I guess they were probably pickle jars, but big ones, you know. Yeah, I remember a lot of that. Those were. It's funny as you get older, you start remembering things like that. But still, after I moved back up here, every year I would make those sandwiches and some lemonade and go to Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago just to kind of have that memory, you know. And it's funny, it's like the last time I went, I remembered I got lost at the zoo one time and I couldn't find the assistant stand or whatever, information stand. So I didn't know what to do, and I remember my dad telling me, you know, if you get lost, you can't find where to go, always go back to the Volkswagen, back to our camper. And I did. When I couldn't find the information booth, I headed straight out of the zoo and went back and sat on the bumper on the back of the van. And after about half an hour, I think it was Mom that came up, but either way, they came and found me. So it's good, you know, it's a good thing to teach your kids to always go back, you know. If they can't find you, go back to where you started. Then your parents can reverse that search. A lot of GA, a lot of general aviation up today. It's something I haven't noticed lately. I've only noticed one flight so far this morning. And that's really unusual because, like I said, I live in the flight path for Midway. So to actually not hear a lot of trains or a lot of planes is kind of unusual. Be a change in the video next week. I'm not going to say what it is. I want to see if you guys pick up on it. Bought something yesterday. It's due in, well, I'm not even going to tell you when it's due in because otherwise you'll be looking. But I want to see if you guys pick up on the change. It should be pretty noticeable. And like I said, I'll take a video of the Raspberry Pi when I boot it up in the van. Make sure we get fired up correctly. And I've been steady thinking about the updating to the Raspberry Pi 4 to get the dual display. However, in my van, it's not big enough to worry about having two displays. But I could see that, I could see some usefulness in that. With like a joystick type mouse and a screen up front, and then have the Raspberry Pi mounted in the back so that I can still access my mapping while I'm driving. That could be pretty handy. Just a little bit after noon here. Another request that came up was for Raspberry Pi stuff was to build either a remote, like the picture frames you see, the digital picture frames, where they could update photos remotely. So this could go to like a grandparent and you could upload photos to Dropbox or somewhere like that and have the photos update. That's something we can do. Another request, this was actually from somebody I used to work with, so it makes me wonder what they're thinking about doing. But yeah, on digital signage, I can set that up as well, show you how to do that. We'll do it off of the same device, so it'll be just as simple as changing out the micro SD card. That is the great thing with Raspberry Pis. When you build something, you don't need to do a lot to change it. If you want to completely change the function, as long as it has the basics of what you need, you're good to go. So we'll work on that in upcoming videos. For the Raspberry Pi, I think with the state lifting some of these park bans, I'll be able to get out and shoot a little bit more video in some of the parks and probably start on my I&M trip.
Just doing section hikes of it coming back. I'll just do them in day trips so I don't have to worry about, being exposed to people in overnights in a campground or whatever. I'll just day trip it. Day trip the sections coming back up here, and we'll finish Chicago at the end of it. Probably do like 5 to 8 miles a day, no big deal. And it'll spread it out over a few videos. But yeah, that's it. We're doing pretty good today. The weather has definitely helped change my mood from yesterday. Like I said yesterday, just everything irritated me. It didn't matter. All right, guys, I'll see you back in the van. And might see you on the bench tonight, might not. But definitely be this video coming out tonight. And possibly another Raspberry Pi video. All right, guys. See you later. All right, just to follow up on the Raspberry Pi in the vehicle. It is actually mounted now. Still getting the lightning bolt occasionally, even on a 3 amp circuit, or one that is supposedly 3 amps. See, there you go. But it is working, so I may actually have to use one of my steady state power supplies here. It is hooked up to the vehicle Wi-Fi, and it's running just fine. I'm going to bring up the browser. The speed alone has me thinking maybe I should go to a Raspberry Pi 4 and just try to work on the performance and power limitations. So you can see again we have our power warning. Okay, now we are booting up. I have turned off the radio. I turned off my watch. I turned off Bluetooth on my phone. So the only available Bluetooth devices now should be my keyboard and my speaker, which pairing mode is still on. Hey guys, welcome back to the van, to the lab. I'll overlay the video. The Raspberry Pi does boot up, it does run. I am still getting a low voltage error or low current error, even on the vehicle power, which is supposed to provide 3 amps to the port. I tried several of my other adapters, all had the same problem. So I ordered a full power supply, a 3 amp power supply. That's due in, I think, tomorrow or Sunday. I forget which now. So we'll try it there on that and see if that gets rid of our problem. It may be that we are drawing right at 3 amps. Adding everything up, I'm not coming close to it, so I'm not quite sure what's happening there. I can't get over to my storage until Monday. They are actually closed today, tomorrow, and Sunday. They're on an everyday cleaning cycle. Every other weekend they go through and apparently clean top to bottom, because it is an indoor storage unit. So it's okay. I'm not going to complain. They're cleaning it, so it just lowers my risk of going there. But I'll pick up my IoT box, which is all my other Internet of Things stuff, so we can start working on some other projects as far as the bench videos. So yeah, that's it. Good walk today. A lot more morels. My phone is steady sliding here. Yeah, a couple messages from former co-workers. That's always good to hear that everybody's doing okay.
Again, a lot more morels today, and I have to look up that leafy green, which I think is edible. I'll post here one way or the other. Or maybe we'll just do a separate video on edibles. That would be a good thing. And not those kind of edibles. I know a couple of you out there are thinking about it. That is my bigger interest. Video quality may be affected. Device is too hot. So I'm going to move it down here. Hopefully you guys can... I'm going to lower the fan speed there to get the... so there's not a lot of wind noise, but I'm getting cooling on the back. Yeah, so the moniker of the blog is, STFUandFish. I have always said that this would be things that interest me and might interest you. Again, I have no problem if, as a group, you want to work together and kind of help me pick out topics and things to talk about. I have no problem with that. But the general idea is whimsy and folly. It's whatever comes into my my crazy mind, but you can bet a majority of it is going to be fishing, hiking, some fitness stuff, some diet stuff, electronics, because I love to tinker with small computers and sensors and things like that. So it'll always be along those lines. There'll be cooking and stuff eventually. Just got to get the channel rolling. I'm trying to get myself into the habit of creating material and refreshing my skills on video editing. I did get a really nice comment about the opening of the last two From the Bench segments. They liked the intermingling of video with still, and that I was kind of being playful with the video. It wasn't my intent. I was just trying a couple things, but so the compliment is well received. At least I'm getting my skills up. All right, guys, I'm going to stop here because I am still getting that overheat warning on the phone. Hopefully this, well, it won't be an issue after a few days from now. And again, keep your eye out. I want to see if you detect when the change happens. And yes, I realize the phone is shaking. All right, guys, be good, be well. We'll see you tomorrow.